Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Oh, thank you. Well, to begin with, I would like to thank from my heartfelt gratitude to teacher, for giving me the chance to give presentation, and I would like to thank my group for giving me this opportunity to represent group 1.1. So as usual, I always start my talk with a disclaimer, but I'm not going to do that because this is really not a motivational speech. But before start my presentation, I would like to say something. Yesterday, one of my brothers messaged in group and said that he is not well, he is sick. So can anybody give presentation? And then we discussed about it, and okay, we discussed about it, and I would like to say that he made all this presentation. He has collected all the contents, and he made it. This is not my presentation. His throat is not well, so I'm just being his voice. Wait. I'm not done yet. So he made this presentation and my presentation also, which I have sent to Amit, because we have to send everybody. We have to send one. So he made this presentation and my presentation. Although he was sick, he is sick actually.
Lakshey.
So for this presentation, I would like to give all the credits to him. Because I have done nothing in this, and now the big part. His brother. I'm just telling the name. He is none other than
Like you always expect that.
He is none other than, he is the most iconic. He is the most iconic, and truly he is the most brilliant student of our batch and my group, right? Lakshey. So thank you so much, Lakshey. Really appreciate it. And you deserve a sneaker, right? I've got for you. Yeah, sure.
Thank you for standing there for me. Thank you so much.
Oh, come on. It's my pleasure.
Emotional.
So you give me a dairy milk, right? Okay. So let's get back to the topic. As we all know, we are here to talk about occupational hazards in our countries, and I stand here to talk about occupational hazards in India. Before we talk about any occupational disease, let us first understand the major occupation in India, right? So here are the occupations. These are manufacturing, right? Construction, trade, transport, hospitality, real estate, education, and government. Oh, really? Government? I thought it collects GST only on everything. Like recently, GST, right? So, is it occupation? Well, apart from this, agriculture is the largest. Agriculture, India ranks second worldwide in farm output, and agriculture and allied sector like forestry forestry logging and fishing account for approx 17% of GDP and employ 53% of its total workforce. Industry accounts for 26% of GDP and employs 22% of the total workforce. It includes petroleum products and chemicals, pharmaceuticals, textile, iron and steel, and services sectors has the largest share of India's GDP according for 57% in 2012. That includes aviation, banking and finance, information technology and tourism. You can see the pictures, right? So these are a few recently clicked pictures of Delhi. The smoke in Delhi has been a hot topic for the last few days, and a major reason for this is stubble burning, which brings me to discuss about occupational hazards in agriculture, which is still the largest occupation in India, agriculture. So occupational hazards in agriculture include respiratory hazards, skin disorders, cancers, chemical hazards, and heat stress. If we talk about the respiratory hazards, organic dust toxic syndrome is the most common respiratory illness manifested by temporary influenza like illness with fever, headache, and muscle aches and pain. Farmer's lung is an allergic reaction caused by inhaling dust from moldy hay, straw, and grain. Suspended dust particles not containing spores from moldy organic matter are considered nuisance dust. Repeated exposure can turn portion of the lung into hardened, non-functioning tissue and cause chronic bronchitis and occupational asthma. A variety of disabling gases include nitrogen dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, carbon dioxide, and methane are produced during many routine operations. Exposure to low level of nitrogen dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, and ammonia will produce lung and eye irritation, dizziness, drowsiness, and headache. High level of S2S particularly and NO2 secondarily will quickly render a worker unconscious and death will follow. So, crop burning in Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh is the single biggest reason for Delhi air pollution. So, now the question arises, is there a measure to prevent them? Any measure to prevent them? So, I would say yes, there are few. The best prevention of respiratory disease is wear respirator. Other measures that can be used, choose crops with lower straw to grain ratio and spread the stubble over the field, which helps to restore the organic matter after that direct storing can be done instead of burning. Skin disorders. Contact dermatitis is a skin disorder that occurs among agricultural workers. There are two general categories, irritant and allergic. Other types of agricultural dermatitis includes heat rash, origin infection, and insect and plant irritation. Wearing proper protective clothing and washing frequently are the most effective means of prevention. Well, skin cancer is the concern on the farm due to the long hours farmers spend in the sun. 90% of all skin cancer occur on parts of the body not usually covered by clothing. A place of particular concern for farmers is the back of the neck, and studies shows that leukemia and lymphoma occur almost 25% of the frequently in farmers than in the general population. Agricultural causes of these concerns have not been conclusively identified, but agents of concern include nitrate, pesticides, viruses, antigenic stimulants, and various fuel, oils, and solvents. Avoid overexposure, especially between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Use sunblocks that absorb all deflect ultraviolet rays. Wear protective clothing such as long sleeve shirt, pants and wide brimmed hats, and conduct regular self-examination for early detection. Well, what about the chemical hazards? Many agricultural workers are exposed to chemicals on daily basis. Pesticides can enter the body through many routes, but the most common way are through the skin and by inhaling. Exposure effects can range from mild skin irritation to birth defects, tumors, genetic changes, blood and nerve disorders, endocrine disruption, coma, and death. To prevent dermal contact and inhalation of pesticide, applicators should wear personal protective clothing and equipment. The applicators should wear chemical resistant coveralls or an apron. Boots and aprons should be washed daily with soap and water and dried thoroughly inside and out to remove pesticide residues. Heat stress occurs when the body builds up more heat than it can handle. High temperature, high humidity, sunlight and heavy workload increase the likelihood of heat stress. Use fans, ventilation system and shades whenever possible. Drink plenty of water before, during and after work, and consider wearing cooling vests. Well, thank you. Not that good. So this is some of my presentation. Actually, it's his presentation. I hope we can prevent these diseases by spreading awareness among our farmers. Thank you so much. Thank you for paying attention.